Before this nation was named, indigenous black peoples lived, built, and governed here. The great world's fairs were remnants of their cities. Across this nation once stood many centers of black commerce, not one Wall Street, but many. These communities were connected by trade, by innovation, by grand world fairs. They represented an older world still alive, and that continuity frightened those who sought control. So those centers were dismantled, their prosperity erased by the very forces that later claimed to civilize this nation. The word American describes the people of the copper-colored race. Its original heirs, the original nobility of this country, are the so-called black Americans. They are heirs to histories older than myth. The truth needs courage.
What is your real name? Put your hands behind your back. Let's go.
Come on, get yourself, nigga. God. No.
Do you have any idea what your real name is?
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into, well, the extraordinary world of a public figure who deliberately blurs the line between spiritual leadership, performance art, and some really sharp social commentary.
He really does.
We're going to try and analyze the unique persona of the Reverend Point Blank and unpack one of his most powerful pieces of poetry.
A piece that really grapples with historical trauma and, the fierce necessity of reclaiming your own identity.
What is your real name? If you don't know what it is, there's no shame. In days of old, when chains were cast, a father's name was lost in that hateful past, stolen by those masters who held the reins and chains, a legacy fractured by those enduring pain. Names that once belonged to kings and kin, replaced by marks of a master's sin. No father's names, no heritage to hold, just echoes of real stories untold. Yet, from this loss, we had to find a way, reclaiming our names each and every day. A journey of strength and a pride reborn, a legacy restored from pain and scorn. For every name that slavery crossed, there is a true story of resilience that counted at a great cost. Through the sharp anguish and the history's long fight, we stand to take our names back and claim our true birthright. We cast the chains aside to finally renew the vibrant, vital thoughts that life has brought us through. We speak of old names, we whisper them day by day, and begin to reclaim what's ours that was snatched away. So know the real names of your true fathers, that's your right. And let's move forward, strong and powerful, to a higher height. Remember your words and your deeds, they are your seeds. The hearts of people are the various grounds. So what are you looking for? It's not hard to be found. Do yourself a favor, start planting some good seeds, because you gotta be tired of those damn weeds. So watch the weather inside and every day, and plant the seeds that grow your way. If you do this naturally, these will grow directly from the ground. These seeds of truth, if planted properly, they are impossible to cut down. It's a simple task, play by play. Do this and your legacy will begin to move in a righteous way. As long as you make it a habit and keep it together, this is the foundation of a legacy that will last forever. Peace and joy. Enjoy your time.
So our mission today is to go beyond just a simple introduction. We want to understand the the architecture of his message.
Right. The Reverend Point Blank is defined by this unique blend of ministry, art, and activism. And we're using his work on ancestral names, specifically the poem, What Is Your Real Name, as our lens.
To explore the power of a recovered legacy.
Exactly.
So let's start with the man himself and his method. Our sources describe him as a precant. That's a really interesting word.
It is, isn't it? A portmanteau. It suggests someone who preaches, but also incorporates the art of being candid, of being direct.
That blend seems to be the key.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at his work, he delivers the word of truth through a genuinely surprising combination. Comedy, deep poetry, and high-impact entertainment.
So a precant is basically a truth teller who uses performance.
Yes, rather than just the pulpit to reach people.
Yeah.
He's deliberately making truth, accessible, engaging.
And we should be clear, this isn't just amateur stuff. His background is really serious.
Very serious. We're talking 20 to 30 years of experience as a director, a writer, and actor.
So what does that kind of professional experience bring to the table when your message is about profound historical pain?
It brings a mastery over emotional rhythm, over narrative structure. When you have decades of experience directing and acting, you know precisely where to put the punchline,
Right.
where to draw to silence, and where the climax of the emotion needs to land.
Becky,
It means the delivery isn't accidental.
it's calculated.
It's calculated to maximize impact. He's structuring a spiritual and cultural message with the precision of a dramatist.
And it seems his perspective is intentionally broad. The biographical notes mention he's known for being out the country. That's a fascinating detail to include.
It is. It adds a whole other layer, a context to his voice. Being out the country, whether that means having extensive global experience or just operating outside traditional structures, it gives him an external, maybe more unvarnished perspective.
So he's speaking to an American reality from a position that's both informed and a little removed.
Which I think enhances his dedication to speaking the truth through comedy. He's not just in the echo chamber, he's challenging it from the outside in.
Okay, so we have this really powerful vehicle, a seasoned performer, blending spiritual and comedic delivery. Let's look at what that vehicle is carrying. The poem, What Is Your Real Name?
And this poem, it doesn't start with hope. It starts with the stark historical claim of theft.
Exactly. It immediately establishes the magnitude of the loss. It roots the tragedy not in some distant event, but in a specific personal injury.
It takes us right back to that time when iron bonds were set.
And it just zeroes in on the most intimate damage. The source material emphasizes the disappearance of a father's precious name.
And that name didn't just fade away,
No, it vanished, stolen by the master's claim.
leaving behind, as the poem says, a legacy undone by lasting shame.
Undone. That's such a specific, active word.
It's crucial. The poem portrays this whole process of identity stripping as a deliberate injustice. The source confirms that the names of the family and clan were marked and changed by an unjust man.
So this wasn't some kind of bureaucratic oversight.
No, not at all. It was intentional destruction. It was aimed at eradicating lineage itself.
And I think that's where the poem really transcends a textbook history lesson. It focuses on the result of that theft. It wasn't just losing a name.
No.
It was losing the birthright to enroll. That's such a foundational loss of belonging, of any future inheritance.
And that loss manifests as ongoing trauma, described so vividly as silent wounds that pierce the grieving soul.
That's profound.
It is. The wounds are silent because society often refuses to acknowledge them, but they're actively grieving the loss of that original identity. So the poem becomes both a historical record and a spiritual acknowledgement of that pain.
So it sets up an incredibly high stake. I mean, if the price of this injustice is the grieving soul and a lost legacy, the journey to recovery has to be just as dramatic.
Right, it has to be. And the poem doesn't let you just sit in that despair.
No, it transitions immediately into this path of reclamation, of resilience.
And that shift is so powerful because it uses the historical pain as leverage for action. The line, "Yet from this deep despair, a path we forge to find the truth beyond the painful scourge."
It's like a mandate.
It is. It recognizes that the scourge exists, but it demands you move through it.
And here's where the artistic delivery becomes so relevant. The action required for this huge recovery. It's surprisingly quiet. It's done by speaking the old names, whispered day by day. Why whispering?
Oh, that's such a great question. Whispering implies intimacy. Ritual, persistence. It's not a loud public declaration, not yet.
It's more personal.
It's a daily, defiant internal practice that keeps the memory of the truth alive. It reverses the historical silence that covered the wound. It makes the recovery process personal and constant. It turns remembrance into resistance.
And that sustained, quiet effort, that's what fuels the reward.
Exactly. That hard-won journey fuels a mounting pride, where a legacy restored cannot be hid.
So the name, once it's whispered and recovered, becomes this visible source of strength. It transforms that silent wound into a loud, undeniable pride.
But the poem is careful. It ensures the cost is never forgotten. It acknowledges that every name that slavery had crossed is a story of resilience, counted at a cost.
This isn't cheap grace.
Not at all. This restoration is purchased by centuries of endurance and continued cultural effort.
So if we connect this back to the bigger picture of his ministry, the climax of the poem is all about liberation. It's about self-determination.
Absolutely. The reclaimed name becomes the instrument of a fully realized life.
And the poem ends right on that note of definitive agency.
It does. We stand and take our names to claim our right. We cast the chains aside and finally renew the vibrant, vital life that calls us through. The name becomes synonymous not just with history, but with a renewed future.
It's like a declaration that the theft is over.
And the owner is taking possession.
So let's bring it all back to the artist. We have this profound, historically heavy, emotionally soaring message, and it's delivered by someone whose repertoire includes comedy and entertainment. So what does it all mean? How does the medium enhance a message this deep?
Well, this is the genius of that pre-canned persona. I mean, think about it. You only delivered this message through heavy, dramatic recitation. You risk alienating or overwhelming your audience.
Right, they might just tune out.
But the Reverend Point Blank is speaking the truth through comedy first.
Comedy is disarming.
It's completely disarming. It lowers the listener's defensive shields. It creates a connection, a shared moment of humanity, and that makes the audience receptive before the profound historical truth actually lands.
So his 30 years as a director and actor ensures the pacing is perfect.
Perfect. You get the laughter, the release, and then bam, the gut punch of the truth delivered point blank. The artistic control ensures the message penetrates without triggering that immediate resistance.
It's the ultimate packaging strategy. He's not just reading a poem, he's crafting an experience where the historical injury and the fierce pride of recovery they become emotionally immediate for the listener.
Yes, it ensures that the word of truth, whether it's spiritual or historical, doesn't just bounce off, it sinks in. It directly addresses the soul where those silent wounds reside.
He's using performance to teach, to heal, and to galvanize.
His work is just a vital contemporary example of how art functions as activism. It doesn't just describe the problem, it actively participates in the solution by celebrating the resilience that's inherent in recovering your lineage.
So the ultimate takeaway here is recognizing the power you find when you fuse these seemingly different artistic forms. The Reverend Point Blank's mission, blending spiritual truth, comedy, and decades of masterful performance.
It just amplifies that central, vital theme of his poem.
That the costly journey of name reclamation is the cornerstone of a vibrant, resilient, and utterly restored legacy.
And this raises, I think, a really important question for you, the listener. If the hardest truths about loss, about history and resilience, are often protected by our own emotional defenses, does the use of unexpected delivery platforms like professional comedy and performance art become one of the most effective tools we have today for achieving genuine cultural and spiritual understanding? Think about what other important messages might be more effective if they were delivered with the intentionality and theatrical mastery of the Reverend Point Blank.
What is your real name? Fuck.